Then we got Oz Cobb, friend of the channel.
So now, like, I wake up in the morning, I'm going to go to boxing. Like, I got to think about Israel and Palestine. Like, what's going on?
Dude, you gotta fight. You gotta fight the good fight, all right? Do you think when they fly in Bad Empanada to be on the red carpet, are you gonna feel safe? Harley Morenstein, are you gonna feel safe when Bad Empanada flies down, dude?
The one thing that I would say is like genuinely in person, especially like some of the people that I'm going to be with. Like I am, like I hope no one says anything stupid or is dumb about it or anything like that. Because
And
like
now,
it's
I've seen on your social media, you can talk about this as much or as little as you want. It seems like you've been pretty critical of iDubbbz recently with a few of your recent tweets, and you're the headliner. 2 months from now, you'll be
I
fighting
did.
for them.
I definitely did, and I messaged him about this. I did point out that he used Ichigo's Bankai first form there. The sword does have a swastika on it. I've watched that show, and I remember when Ichigo first turned Bankai, I was with my friends, and a couple of us were Jewish. We were very happy to see him turn Bankai. We were like, oh, what? This is it. And then when the sword revealed, the room did get kind of quiet. And this is like 20 years ago, you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're like 23, and I'm looking at and I remember me and my friends, we were younger, we instantly were like, that's a swastika, or kind of depends on which way you look at it. And we always watch the show. We'd be like, oh, they don't want him to go Nazi on them. They don't want him to go racist for him. And that was because we acknowledged immediately when you look at the sword, you're like, that's a swastika on the sword. So if I were to be, hanging out with the Twitch All Stars and the whole Sabra thing and all that, I definitely would have like. Once again, I have to be like, we're on YouTube. I'm gonna assume that's a conversation starter. That's gonna get comments. That's gonna get engagement. You grab the Nazi sword. So I think it's fair that I point out that he was holding the swastika. And yes, we know it's not a swastika. We know what it is, but
It's a
it's a swastika,
manji or something, a
a drama
mini.
channel. Like I go on Twitter, and that's the beginning and end of any of my drama experiences.
And Reddit, and Reddit. You go to war on
And
Reddit.
Reddit, yeah. If I don't get banned from there, my thing is like, I mean, I have to go, and this is where I'm like, okay, maybe it's not so simple YouTube in my brain, because simple YouTube in my brain would be like, oh, well, this is easy. H3 sold the most tickets to Creator Clash 1 and 2, I believe. I think they did a
Wait,
lot of
wait, wait,
ticketing.
wait, wait. Is that true?
Well, I'm not going to say that Creator Clash was an H3 fan meetup, but just from me, when I would watch people push the tickets and see it, I would be like, oh, yes, Ian and Isa are on H3 podcast again today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like I would think that, wouldn't you? Like what else? What other entity promoted
Well,
Creator
I think
Clash
that personally, but I'm not the current headliner for the
type
third.
approach? But like, what I would very, very easily say to a friend of mine, I'll be like, dude, you're not coming to the party unless you guarantee me that guy's not coming. I hate that guy. So tell him he's not coming or you're not coming. And that's something I would do with a real life friend. I could see that. But in this case, I was like, the easy ticket move would have been like, yeah, fuck that guy. You shouldn't have had CPS called on you. And yeah, can we be on the podcast next week to promote Creator Class? But that's but they didn't do that. So it obviously goes deeper
Yeah, there's
than just
definitely
my
stuff here that we
understanding.
don't know. There's definitely stuff on the back end here. I found it notable that like Ian in his video says they were like light friends or like acquaintances almost, but does say definitively that like Denims is his friend in the same video. So that's our power scaling that we can go with there. Ian, 10-year
Oh,
friendship, quote unquote. Those were light friends. Denims is apparently a friend. Yeah, I
well,
didn't.
that's
That kind of blew my
interesting.
mind.
No, that's crazy. I got to put myself. No, that's crazy. I got to put myself above Denims. There's no way she slept in their home. I slept in their home, so
Well,
that
I don't know.
means
I don't know. I don't. Being in the home doesn't really seem like a definitive factor in friendship over there. I don't know about that one. You might have to. I don't know. Check and see where you stand because some people didn't know.
I slept with their dog. Maybe
What? What?
I guess I was like, when the content cop was was dropping, I was like, this is I once again, you don't know people online like you think you do. And I don't have the greatest relationship with Ethan, and I know Ian, we have a very friendly relationship. I would consider him a friend, we talk a whole bunch. But I just assumed that he and Ethan had a better friendship.
I think a
But then
lot of
again,
us did, yeah.
I'm not privy to all the conversations they had leading up to it, and I do I do admire Ethan quite a bit, but I could see how someone would be bothered by the uh, you have to denounce that guy,
Yeah,
or
nobody ever likes being put in a position where it's like me or them,
right. But
ultimatums.
then again, my real life friends, I could do that easily to them. I could ask that to them, and they would all be like, "Yeah, for sure, that guy's a fucking weirdo, dude.
The
Like, it's like a
problem is
weird
like,
guy to make a stand on."
yeah, for influencers and stuff like that, it's a whole different game. But for a chatter, they're thinking like these guys are human beings, right? When money's at
Mhm.
play, when like events are at play, it's actually like a little bit more complicated than just, oh, these guys are human beings. That's like a human emotion that you'd expect him to feel. There are a lot of fucking snakes on this platform.
Mm. Well, what I feel is like what I thought was for me personally, which was like a lesson, was that like when Froggy made the joke about Anissa, I have always been in the belief of like, oh, he insulted her, so Ian removed him from the event.
Yeah.
I understand how that happens. A lot of people will say
Well, he
some
kind of.
things, but I do get people messaging me that are like, "You got to drop up, bro. You're gonna fucking dance monkey for people that hate you, dude. They don't even like and it ends up getting into this place. And for me, and I don't know about the other fighters, but just for me, like I'm just kind of like, oh, cool. The fun little charity fundraiser has now been attached to a decades long bloody holy war in the Middle East. It's whatever. Cool. It's not really like the fun
Question: are
sentiment.
you a bit worried? There's been a lot of talks about ticket sales, and I know we've had one back and forth interaction with CreatorClash too, when you were saying this event has sold more than the first one, and you're blowing some smoke up our ass the first time. But
So
now
did I ever clear what I meant? What
you did
happened with
clear that
that?
up. Yes, you did clear it
Okay,
up.
because I went back and I
You
looked at what
yeah.
I said. It was at the time it was outselling on pace, but they ended up selling ticket wise fairly close. But Amalie Arena is so much bigger
And more expensive.
and more expensive, right? Exactly. Now, like I was talking to Dad actually. I was like, "What's the situation with the tickets?" And he pulled up a thing and he did all the counting on it. And he was like, wow, this looks like there's only this many tickets left. And I was like, that doesn't seem right because that sounds like it sold better than Creator Clash 2 already. They must do something where they block off areas
They
of
blocked
purchase
off the
until
upper bowl
closer.
2 days ago. Yeah, yeah, they did.
Right. So I think something like that happens, but I mean, a lot of like it's tricky. A lot of ticket sales happen within a month. Like we're getting in the place of when ticket sales happen. But the problem is like when you compare it to like a VidCon type thing, well, people book VidCon out like months in advance. They get the hotel in advance. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not that easy to guarantee you're gonna have a hotel in Tampa in 2 weeks from now on a Saturday night, especially if, you want, 15,000 people to come to your event.
Yeah,
There's
the
not necessarily
expectation is
going to
this
be
stuff will be it
15,000
have to be
hotels.
locals, yeah. Or I don't know, maybe Anissa and Ian will just just give you a room. Who knows? It's
Well,
off the cancer kids' dime. Yeah,
they were a little touchy with rooms,
good,
like
good.
spacing wise. Yeah, spacing wise, they were a little touchy with rooms, and I think that's because they foresaw having a lot of guests coming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I had heard that the guy that I was boxing, God bless him, LA Beast. Um, I heard that he got more money.
What? I thought that was the one thing that you didn't want to happen. So they paid him out more than the rest of the fighters. Want to happen. So they paid him out more than the rest of the fighters.
They paid him out more money than I was getting.
Well, that would then
And
be the rest, yeah.
I found that out from him.
Oh, wait, so they told you it was going to be one way, and then he let you know, no, they actually compensated me higher?
Yeah, he had another conversation, and we had my guy hit them up and be like, "What's the deal?" He got more money. What's up? And they were like, "Oh yeah, now the budget is tied up.
Wow.
It's tough to, and that's when my guy was like, and listen, it's not me, it's my guy. He was like, well, then cancel the gala. We don't care if the terrorist Twitch All Stars get flown in or not. Cancel it. And that's he said that, not me. And so they said that they would. I haven't even spoke to him. This is all developing recently. But
Uh-huh.
I was a little bit like, oh, okay, well, I thought I would have been notified if there was a difference in that. And then, I messaged another friend of mine who's on the card because I gotta be straight up about it. I was like, hey, it looks like I'm gonna ask for this much more money because this guy got it, and so I want you to know that. So he called as well, and they were like, the budget is tied up. But like for me, when I like in Creator Clash 2, I really was doing it for charity, and it was an important charity to me. Thank you for donating, by the way, Nicholas. You're going to heaven for sure. I was
Thank you.
like, that was an important charity to me, and I wouldn't have said, I wouldn't have, like, I had my feelings that maybe Alex Wasabi got paid more money than all of us, but I was just like, whatever, it's a charity thing. I'm not, and I had a good time the first one, whatever. But this time, I was like, oh no, we could ask for the money because if not, it's just gonna fly a couple Twitch streamers down that exact money. I'd rather that go to my boxing coach,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or go to like cracking open some packs of magic as opposed to, flying down people that essentially could afford it.
Absolutely could afford it, except for Frogan. She needs the money.
Yeah. So these all these people I met them all at Creator Clash. But it was so simple. It was like a simple event. Things weren't complicated. Now, because of this darn war in the Middle East, just killing the vibe.
Dude, wait, so hold on. Just going back to that again. So they're paying LA Beast more. Then you have to start wondering, well, what the fuck is Tubbo and Sapnap getting? Because they're the draw, right? I think we both know that's like the biggest fight. We were
Thought
talking about
crossed
this
my
last
mind.
time.
Thought crossed my mind. I was like, should I go to Orlando? I mean, just drive away one of them and just be like, "What's that, bro? Show me. Empty your pockets. Empty your pockets right now."
And you're being 100% legit right now. This is actually something that's going on in the back end.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Is that I found out that he had gotten a couple bucks more, and that the what's it called, the budget is all tied up, so they don't know how to make it work. uh and yeah, like the ticket sales and the fundraiser, they're separate things.
I don't know if you know this, and it's on my screen right now if you want to take a look. But one of the things that people were pointing to, other than the bowl getting cut, because the bowl was open 2 days ago. When I took the screenshot talking about how the seats weren't being sold, the bowl up
Right.
top was open, and then it was taken away the next day. Now people are noticing that the exact seats that were selling for $215 have been cut in half. Well, that's row 710, and this is C616. So they're seeing that the prices are decreasing on the seats. So that doesn't really super bode well. That might be something that you might have not known, and maybe you want to check into that because I imagine that would be something you'd want
My
to
biggest
investigate on
thing
your end.
that I've kind of accepted this time around, and I was trying to, like, I was talking to Dad about it. I was like, "Hey, we boxed at Amalie Arena. It was pretty packed, and that was really cool." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, it'd be really surreal and also quite the memory." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "If we box at Amalie Arena when it's completely empty."
You
It
might
would
get
be
the
very
chance.
interesting.
You might get the chance, dude.
You really never know. And I always like. I mean, I saw a lot of people on the H3 subreddit that had been returning their tickets, or their pay per
Well,
views.
because
They were
they
refunding and stuff like
feel
that.
kind of like, I don't know, betrayed in a way. Again, you said it earlier that the H3 podcast probably amounted for a significant amount of ticket sales. It might not just
I
be
think
about the content cop as much as like Lena's worried about getting booed at this event right now, and I think it's going to happen.
that's
It's
terrible.
scary. That's a scary
That's terrible
thing.
because she's really awesome and super nice. But like what also charges it is like on that card, I watched Funky Frogbait. Like that's a person that I watch on the card, whose content is there. So that's someone that I was excited to see participate in the event because it's one of those creators where I'm like, I could have never imagined this person boxing. So now they're going to train to become a boxer. I just want to see how it looks and what it is. So it has that, and then you charge that with the fact that people are like, oh, and she's like, there's no H3 fans going to be there. So
Yeah,
if you're not an
who's going to
H3
be
fan,
there? Yeah.
it seems like you're an H3 hater. And I mean, I that would be terrible. That'd be terrible. I mean, they did a temperature check on my team. They called my team and they were like, "How do you guys doing? How do you feel about everything?" And they spoke to my guy and he was like, "Not that good. It's not that cool of a thing." And then they hit me up and I was like, "Well, how does everyone else feel about it?" And they were like, "Everyone loves it. Everyone's fine. Everyone's great. Your team's a little wonky about it, but everyone's good."
Oh God.
And I was like, well, I guess, yeah. I mean, I think I'm the only Jewish person on the card. Uh, and I know it's not like the content cop I know was supposed to be about like Ethan's behavior.
Yeah. Then it turned into
Um,
content cop Israel.
yeah.
Busted.
Oh man, it's so crazy. I really like I get people that are like, you should fucking drop out of the event. You should do it. And my thing is like, listen, I'm my opponent has a newborn. He's been committed to this. He's such an awesome guy. He's a great guy. The dynamic with Ian and Ethan really doesn't concern me fully. I'm sure there's a million things that all these YouTubers on the card have done or haven't done. And if I ever did any boxing event or ever worked with YouTubers, there's probably a long list of things that are bad or whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
when I make it simple, the LA Beast is committed to it, so I'm committed to it. If Lena's doing it, what excuse do I have? I definitely feel for her. That's probably such a bizarre situation to be in. I think about that with AB all the
That's
time.
fucking sad, man. I hope everything works out. I know, because on the last stream you came on here and you're talking about how like you were super like keen on like, hey, I need to make sure every single person here is making the same amount. That was like a big thing for you. Now you're the headliner of the card, and you're saying that they might have fucked you over. That's not a good way to treat somebody who's fought on every single one of their cards so far.
Yeah, so that's it. I don't know. See, like for now, I'm just like I don't know where what it is, and I don't want to like accuse anyone or do it. Like I don't have enough information. It's just the information didn't come to me from the event. It came to me from the guy I'm boxing. So
Well,
it
best
was
case
just like a weird way
scenario,
to go
it gets
about it.
settled before you guys even step in the ring. Worst case scenario,
What,
I'll
the Middle
talk to
East?
you. No, 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 no. Well, I mean that would be good too, but no, I meant like your situation with the money stuff on your end.
Yeah,
Well, if they wrap all
yeah.
that stuff up in
Thanks.
the Middle East, though, that might greatly benefit the event. So, rooting for
That'd be
that.
cool. That'd be cool if you get walked to the ring like with IDF and Hamas.
Yeah, I thought if we deploy Frogan in there, I think she'll be able to like reach peace in the Middle East. Use those words.
Yeah. Well, maybe she'll ring walk me. That'd be pretty sick.